So how is your mind killing you? Every single time you have a negative thought, your body experiences it as stress. Every time you think to yourself, I am not pretty, I am not good enough, I am not worthy, I am a failure. Every time you fear being judged, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your sympathetic nervous system is triggered, causing your body to produce stress hormones, which then suppresses your parasympathetic nervous system. And when your parasympathetic nervous system is suppressed, your body cannot heal. Your body has been created to heal itself. It has been designed to heal itself, but it is prevented in doing so every time you experience stress, physical stress, emotional stress, or mental stress. And so many of us, we are in a constant state of stress because of our chronic negative thoughts. Our infected minds have been left untreated for decades, and we continue to experience life and the world through our delusions and veils. The delusion of I am unworthy of being loved. The delusion of I am not good enough. The veil of I am going to be alone forever. Nobody can love me. The veil of I am a victim and always will be a victim. If you want to tap into your body's innate ability to heal itself, then you must purify your mind from all these negative thoughts, which will then relax your nervous system and shut down the constant fight or flight mode, which will then allow your parasympathetic nervous system to turn on and cause your body to release the many different healing hormones. Another way that an infected mind, an untreated mind, can damage physical health has been explained by ancient traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years. Did you know that for every negative emotion caused by a negative thought, there is a specific vital organ in your body that is damaged? The kidneys are affected by fear, and you see the evidence of this when you scare a dog, for example, or an infant, and they wet themselves, or when you have stage fright and you constantly need to go to the bathroom to pee. The lungs are affected by grief. Notice that when you are crying, when you are grieving, most of the shock is taking place in the chest area, in your lungs. Your natural pattern of breathing is disrupted. You find it very hard to breathe. And even when you are not crying and you are just sad and upset, notice how you sigh often. The spleen, which also includes the stomach in TCM, is damaged by worry, by overthinking. The liver is damaged by anger and frustration. And Baha'u'llah confirms this in the Tablet of Medicine when he says, anger doth burn the liver. Avoid it as you would a lion. And finally, the heart is damaged by too much excitement and joy. Now, some people will say, how can joy be bad? Notice that it is excessive joy and excessive excitement and pleasure that is damaging to the heart. We live in times where we are constantly carrying things to excess to experience maximum pleasure through our vices, our addictions, entertainment, and the many different pleasures of life. But if we are attached to the love of God and His love is sufficient unto us, then we will be detached from this world, detached from both the good and the bad. If life brings us fortune, we will not be overjoyed and overly excited. And if life brings us sorrow, we will not be devastated. And Baha'u'llah talks about this. He says, should prosperity befall thee, rejoice not. And should abasement come upon thee, grieve not. So we should seek the middle path. We should seek contentment instead of joy and happiness, because the way I see it, happiness is temporary. It is followed by sadness, whereas contentment is being happy and content under all conditions. It is a permanent state. Now, we can only become content through detachment from this world, and we can only be detached from this world and all that is therein through attachment to the love of God. So now we have a better understanding as to how our thoughts can affect our emotions, our nervous system, our hormones, our vital organs, our physical reality. And now we can appreciate the words of Abdul Baha when he says that the reality of man is his thought. So where do all these negative thoughts come from? They come from whatever you feed your mind, from whatever you expose your mind to on a daily basis. See, your mind is in need of food, in need of information every day, from the day you are born until the day you die, just like your physical body is in need of food, which is also information. And you know what they say? You are what you eat. If you are consuming predominantly living natural foods that God has provided, which contains the energy from the sun, the information from the sun, all the vitamins and minerals, then you will reflect that energy, that vitality, that beauty, that life. But if on the other hand, you are consuming predominantly non-foods, dead foods, junk foods, adulterated foods created by man, which are full of toxic chemicals and devoid of nutrients, then you will become the embodiment of disease, of depression, of death. Every choice you make is important because they have a cumulative effect. It all adds up. And the same goes for your mind. If you are predominantly tuning into the information, media, and arts created by human beings, then your mind will become sick because this world is sick. This world is messed up, full of injustice, war, corruption, greed, sexual perversity. If all you are tuning into is this dark world, then your mind will become a mere reflection, full of fear, anger, hopelessness, unworthiness, lust. But if, on the other hand, you choose to predominantly tune into every day the Word of God, that information which He has sent down to you from the kingdom of light, from that world of perfections, then your mind will reflect that. Your mind will reflect hope, unity, peace, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. There are so many people who say things like, I know the difference between this sexually perverted TV show and reality. It's not going to affect me. I know the difference between this violent video game and reality. It's just a game. It's not going to affect my behavior. Yeah, I know this music video is pretty sexual and degrading to women, but it's just a song. I don't care for the lyrics. I'm just listening to it because of the beat, the production style. I love the sound of the voice of the singer. It's not going to affect me. It doesn't matter if you know that it is not reality or that it is bad. If you are tuning into this stuff, if you're exposing your mind to this, it is affecting you. It is shaping your mind. You know, it's like saying, I know the difference between junk food and real nutritious food, but I'm going to eat this junk food anyways, and it's not going to affect me. Seriously? When you tune into all this violence and sexual perversity in video games and movies and music videos, first you become desensitized, then you grow to desire it, either consciously or unconsciously, in the world and in your intimate relationships. So now, how do we purify our minds from all of these negative thoughts and increase our mental immunity so that when we are exposed to all the perversity in this world and all the toxic information, we will not be affected by it. Our minds will not be infected. The purification of the mind and the strengthening of mental immunity consists of a simple two-step process. Number one, avoid as much as you can all the toxic information that is coming from this world that has been created by man. Minimize your exposure to all the media, Hollywood, movies, all the music, all the novels, all these celebrity social accounts, to Facebook, to Instagram, everything that is coming from this world. Minimize your exposure to it. Number 2, increase your exposure to healthy, nutritious information, which has been sent down by God, which is essentially the knowledge of God through His Word. Now, is it far-fetched to say that the Word of God is true food for the human mind? No, because in every age, God has sent down His divine manifestations to remind us that we have been created in His image, that the purpose of physical reality is to know Him and to worship Him, to grow in our knowledge of Him, to unravel divine mysteries and partake of His beauty throughout eternity. Divine revelation is the motive power of human civilization, has always been, and all the sciences and arts of the world are merely branches of this root of knowledge, which is the knowledge of God. All knowledge depends upon it. All of the arts and wonders of the world are motivated through the knowledge of God, through His Word. First was the Word. A lot of people don't like the word avoid. They don't like to be told that you need to avoid this kind of movie, this kind of game, this kind of music, etc. But avoidance is key in this 2-step purification process. It's just like the physical body. This same 2-step process applies to the body if you want to purify and detoxify your body. First, you must stop and avoid all the junk foods, all the toxins, all the chemicals that you are putting into your body through the foods you are eating, through the toxic tap water you are drinking, through all the toxic pharmaceuticals you are taking and the vaccinations, etc., etc. Avoidance is key. Then you can supply your body with all the nutrition and all the good stuff that your body needs. So avoidance is key. In a world that is so toxic, we must make a mighty effort to avoid all the toxins, unfortunately, until society as a whole is purified. And Baha'u'llah talks about this 2-step process, about avoidance too. He says, "O man of 2 visions, close one eye and open the other. Close one to the world and all that is therein, and open the other to the hallowed beauty of the Beloved." Notice that he mentions closing before opening, that he mentions avoiding before partaking. The mind needs to be emptied of all the junk through avoidance, so that true nutrition, the Word of God, His knowledge, can then take its place, can then nourish the mind. Baha'u'llah says, "Empty thyself of all learning, that thou mayest partake of my knowledge." This 2-step process is not merely theory. It has transformed my life and the life of everyone I know who has made an effort to tune out of this world and tune into the kingdom of heaven, to tune into His Word. Health, success, happiness, confidence, knowledge, wisdom has increased exponentially. The more we tune into His Word and we strive to obey His laws, to align our lives with His will, we become vehicles of His love, vehicles through which His will can flow through us. That is when we begin to experience life at a superhuman level. The Master is working through us. That is when the human heart will be made the home for His love. Because when the mind is purified, the more we tune into His Word, the heart will also become purified. Sanctify it for my descent. Thy heart is my home. Sanctify it for my descent. And when God descends into our hearts and our minds becomes the throne of His knowledge, our hearts the throne of His love, we begin to experience heaven on earth. Heaven is not a place, it is a state that we can experience within us. This is what we have been destined to experience. This is how we have been destined to experience life. We need to be committed. We need to be patient. We need to make a constant effort with this 2-step process. Because just like the physical body, in order to purify the body of all the toxins that have accumulated over decades, from all the toxic foods, all the toxic pharmaceuticals, and all the other junk that we have been exposing our bodies to, we must be committed for months, for years, to purify the body. In the same manner, in order to purify the mind from decades of toxic exposure, we need to be patient. We need to make a constant effort to tune into the Word of God on a daily basis, to carry out the daily spiritual exercises that have been prescribed by the divine manifestation of God. Because the manifestation of God always knows the dark forces that are at hand. They know what we need and prescribe what we need. The divine physician hath his finger on the pulse of mankind. He perceiveth the disease, and through his unerring wisdom prescribeth the remedy. If you have never heard of these daily spiritual exercises, I'm going to write them down in the description of this video so you can check them out and so that you can use them. If you are committed to this process, guaranteed with every passing day, your life will become more beautiful on every level. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into how the Word of God and how prayer can transform the human mind, reprogram the human mind, and heal the physical body, check out my video on the long healing prayer. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Can this prayer heal you? Can it heal your physical body? And if so, then how?